From the moment you took your first steps in life, the world began teaching you a lesson, one so deeply ingrained that you rarely question it. Be agreeable, don't disappoint, always put others first. Over time, you've mastered the art of pleasing everyone around you. You've learned to wear a mask, tailor your words, and bend your needs to fit the expectations of others. Society applauds you for it, calling you selfless, kind, and easygoing. But beneath the surface of this applause lies a quiet truth. This way of living comes with a price. This isn't just the cost of exhaustion or frustration. It's deeper, more profound. It's a spiritual debt you're paying with every yes you didn't mean, every boundary you ignored, and every piece of yourself you gave away in exchange for approval. You may not realize it yet, but every act of self-betrayal chips away at something sacred within you: your authenticity, your purpose, and your connection to the infinite power of your true self. You've likely felt it, that quiet discomfort when you say yes, even as your soul screams no. The feeling of being unseen, even when you're doing everything to be noticed, the weight of carrying other people's happiness, while your own joy feels further and further out of reach. This is the hidden spiritual cost of living for others, but never for yourself. But here's the truth they don't tell you. You were not born to be a people pleaser. You were not placed on this earth to fulfill everyone else's expectations at the expense of your own. You are not here to sacrifice your dreams, your voice, or your essence to make others comfortable. The universe did not create you to live a life of quiet resentment. It created you to live boldly, authentically, and unapologetically as yourself. The cost of pleasing everyone but yourself is steep, but there's a way out. You can reclaim what you've lost. You can step off the path of self-betrayal and return to the truth of who you are. It begins here with the courage to ask one question: what is the price of approval, and is it worth the cost of your soul? When you live to please others, you slowly become a shadow of who you once were. You may not notice it immediately. It starts subtly, with small compromises here and there. You stay silent in a meeting because you don't want to seem difficult. You take on more responsibilities than you can handle because you can't bear the thought of disappointing someone. You agree to plans you're not excited about because it feels easier than saying no. Over time, these small sacrifices add up, leaving you feeling drained, lost, and disconnected from the person you were meant to become. This is because people-pleasing is not just a habit, it's a spiritual imbalance. At its core, it's a misalignment between your inner truth and your external actions. Every time you prioritize someone else's expectations over your own needs, you send a message to yourself. Your desires don't matter. Your voice doesn't matter. You don't matter. This creates a rift between your soul and your identity, making it harder and harder to recognize who you really are. The spiritual cost of people-pleasing goes beyond exhaustion or burnout. It affects the very essence of your being. Your soul is designed to thrive in alignment with your authentic self, but when you constantly suppress your truth to meet others' demands, you disrupt this alignment. You begin to live in a state of energetic disharmony, where your actions and emotions are no longer guided by your intuition, but by fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of being seen as selfish. This fear is deeply rooted in societal conditioning. From childhood, you've been taught that your worth is tied to how much you can give, how agreeable you can be, and how little space you take up. Cultural norms reinforce this by praising those who sacrifice for others while subtly shaming those who prioritize themselves. Yet, this conditioning hides a profound truth. The more you live for others, the further you stray from your own path. One of the most damaging consequences of this way of life is the loss of authenticity. Your authenticity is your soul's unique expression. It's the unfiltered version of who you are when you're not trying to impress, perform, or please. But when you habitually put others first, you start to bury this authenticity beneath layers of compromise and pretense. You mold yourself to fit their expectations, becoming a version of yourself that feels safe but isn't real. The irony is that even as you strive to please everyone, you often end up feeling unfulfilled and unseen. People may appreciate your efforts in the moment, but over time, they come to expect your selflessness as a given. What was once your choice becomes their expectation. And when you try to reclaim your time, energy, or boundaries, you're met with resistance. This reinforces the belief that to be loved, you must keep giving, an endless cycle that leaves you depleted. The spiritual cost deepens as your boundaries erode. Boundaries are not walls, they are bridges to healthy relationships. They define where you end and others begin, allowing you to give and receive in balance. But when you live to please, you often ignore or override your boundaries, leaving yourself vulnerable to emotional exhaustion, resentment, and even manipulation. Without boundaries, you open yourself to people and situations that drain your energy and pull you further from your purpose. And then, there's the toll it takes on your soul's purpose. Every one of us is born with a unique calling, a reason we are here. Whether it's to create, heal, teach, or inspire, this purpose is an integral part of your spiritual journey. But when your life revolves around meeting the needs of others, you have little time or energy left to explore your own purpose. Your days are consumed with external demands, while your soul's whispers grow quieter and quieter. The Hermetic principle of vibration teaches us that everything, including your thoughts and emotions, carries a frequency. When you live in a state of self-betrayal, constantly suppressing your desires and emotions, you lower your energetic vibration. This creates a ripple effect, attracting experiences and relationships that reinforce feelings of lack and disconnection. On the other hand, when you honor your truth, set boundaries, and live authentically, you raise your vibration, aligning yourself with abundance, joy, and purpose. This isn't to say that helping others is wrong. It's a beautiful and necessary part of life. But there's a difference between helping others out of love and helping others out of fear. When you act out of fear, you give from a place of emptiness, hoping that your efforts will fill the void. When you act out of love, you give from a place of fullness, knowing that your needs are met and your soul is at peace. The path to reclaiming your authenticity begins with awareness. Start by recognizing the moments when you prioritize others at your own expense. Notice how it feels in your body when you say yes, but mean no. Pay attention to the relationships, situations, or patterns in your life that drain your energy. Awareness is the first step to breaking free from the cycle of people-pleasing. You may feel resistance at first. Saying no, setting boundaries, and prioritizing yourself will challenge the conditioning that has guided you for so long. But each act of self-honoring is a step toward healing the rift within you. It's a step toward reclaiming your authenticity, raising your vibration, and reconnecting with the spiritual truth that you are enough, just as you are. The cost of people-pleasing is steep, but the reward of reclaiming yourself is priceless. And it begins with one courageous decision: to live for yourself, not for the expectations of others. The journey to reclaiming your authenticity is not easy, but it is transformative. When you stop living to meet everyone else's expectations, you create space for your true self to emerge. The version of you that isn't afraid to say no, that sets boundaries without guilt, and that unapologetically prioritizes your own well-being. It's not selfish to choose yourself. It's necessary for your spiritual growth and fulfillment. By breaking free from the cycle of people-pleasing, you take the first step toward a life of alignment and purpose. You begin to vibrate at a higher frequency, attracting relationships and opportunities that resonate with your truth. The weight of carrying others' happiness lifts, replaced by the lightness of living authentically. You no longer seek approval from the outside because you've found it within. This is the freedom that comes when you honor yourself. Now is the time to ask yourself, what life am I creating? Am I living for others, or am I living for me? These questions can be the starting point of a profound shift. Start small. Say no when it feels right, even if it's uncomfortable. Set one boundary today, even if it feels difficult. These simple acts will begin to heal the spiritual imbalance that people-pleasing creates and lead you toward the life you were meant to live. Remember, your worth is not tied to how much you can give, how agreeable you can be, or how small you can make yourself to fit into someone else's narrative. Your worth is inherent, unshakable, and limitless. When you fully embrace this truth, you'll discover the joy and freedom of living in alignment with your soul's purpose. As you reflect on this, we want to invite you to take this journey with us. If this message resonated with you, if it opened your eyes to truths you've long felt but never fully understood, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel. Together, we can explore more ways to break free from societal conditioning, embrace our authenticity, and create lives that truly reflect our deepest desires. Your support means everything to us. By subscribing, sharing, and engaging with our content, you help us grow this community and reach others who are ready to step into their power. Let's reach 1,000 subscribers together. Every click, comment, and share brings us closer to spreading these transformative messages to those who need them most. Thank you for being part of this journey. Your time, energy, and presence mean the world to us. Let's continue to grow, transform, and step into our authentic selves together. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share this with someone who might need to hear it. Until next time, stay true to yourself,